So it's a great pleasure to be on the air with you again on this Tuesday. Till Tuesday. Remember that band?
Tuesday.
Yes. So we are usually on Mondays, but today's the day where we can have a chance to talk with Maria-Pilar González, hypnotherapist, and so glad to have you, Maria-Pilar, again on this network of platforms that comprise the IAAAM, International Association of Alternative and Ancient Medicine, along with Aldea Global and Beacon Hypnotherapy Institute, your institution where you can always find the best quality in hypnosis and all this wonderful world. So, Pilar, we were just talking about the wonders of the body, the human body, how it manages through many involuntary, I would say, well, with that we have to check, you know, but it handles itself. And we were just wondering, what is it about the body that sometimes fails, no? And how can we play a part on this? How can we help our body perform better and even get away with illness and some conditions? So I'm all ears, I'm all eager to listen to how hypnosis and all these possibilities of going deep in your subconscious and all these those realms where we can explore with hypnosis and see how we can help our body heal and perform better in general. So welcome, Pilar.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here and to share on all these different platforms. As we entitled today's program, you know, your body speaks to you. Do you
If
speak
you can
to your
come a
body?
little closer to the phone, can we have you a little closer? Yes, thank you.
Okay. So, like we said, your body speaks to you. Do you speak to your body? If we pay attention, how does our body speak to us? We have pain, we can have rashes, discomforts, our stomach acts up. Many people, when they have anxiety, they feel their stomach just reacting, contracting. So, you know, bleeding even. It tells us we're injured. We have somewhere our skin is broken, right? Bruises, whatever. There's so many ways our body speaks to you, but how do you speak to your body? First of all, we have to pay attention to our body. And most people are familiar with pain and hypnosis, how with hypnosis you can take away pain. But of course, if I have someone coming in here and they have a pain, I'm like, not just going to take the pain away with hypnosis, because first of all, what does pain do? It tells you there's something wrong somewhere in your body. If you just bumped your toe, okay, and there's no broken toe, then we're fine. But if there's pain, we need to double check that there is no broken bone. If you have a toothache, do you have an infection? You need to go and check it out. Now, if I have a toothache on a Sunday evening and I can't see a dentist until the morning, I certainly can do hypnosis to take care of the pain until I go see the doctor, right? We usually do painkillers, but we can take care of it with hypnosis as well. So these are obvious ways. But what happens when, for example, we have emotional pain? You know, when we have anger, we have other such emotional, negative emotions. They go to your body. Your body absorbs them. In Spanish, there's a saying that when something aggravates you, it eats up on your liver. Our liver is very important. It's that organ in the
Say it in
body.
Spanish. I want to remember.
Te come el hígado, ¿no? Me amarga el hígado, te come el hígado. It says it.
Well,
It's
emotions are
like
related to organs, like in this case,
organs.
anger.
Right.
is directly connected to liver, like
to the liver.
kidneys to fright to fear, and so many others. Lungs with sadness. No, it's like there's a whole study of
Our
emotions.
skin. In English, we have when things get under your skin. It is literally people have rashes. And I know my father was older, and they had sold the building he was working as a maintenance person, and he developed a rash. And I told him, "You're worried," because he was worried that they were going to let him go after being there 15, almost 20 years, because he was the older one, etc., etc. Turns out, and I told him, this is you're anxious, you're worried, and that's what the rash is. Of course, he went to doctors, creams, changed soaps, everything you can think of, and it wouldn't take care of it. After, long story short, they did hire him with a raise and everything because he was a good worker and they knew him well, so they kept him on board. And so I asked him, and I go, "So how is your rash?" And he just stared at me, and he's like, "It's gone." And I go, "Uh-huh. So what do you think?" And he doesn't quite understand what I do, but I told him it was your nerves. It got under your skin. His worry, his anxiousness, makes organs overreact, and you break out. And it went away just like that, without medication or otherwise. And so there's many things that we need to pay attention that happens in our body. Headaches. I have people that come in with a lot of anxiety and tension and headaches. Headaches is the same thing. You're being torn, you're getting pulled, too much worry, thinking about this, thinking about that, not making up your mind, getting dizzy even. So how do we address this? One, we need to release. But how do you release emotions? Do you go punch a bag? I mean, you could. That would probably help either way. People exercise to release too much energy, right? Punching bag, using a bag to punch. There's actually a book called Your Body Believes Every Word You Say. It's an older book, actually, by Barbara Hoberman Levine. And your body does believe every word you say. So that can go for good and bad, which means we can talk to your body to make it feel better, to allow aches and pains and discomforts and ailments to go away, for our body to release whatever energy is stuck there, obviously negative. But think about when we also created. If I have a wound and I keep looking at my wound and I'm like, oh, it's really getting worse, it's not healing, look at it, how it's not closing, and I keep talking badly, or like it's not going to get better, I'm sending negative energy to that part of the body, and it is not going to get any better, or it's going to slow down. So when we have such a wound or ailment, we need to talk to our body to let it know it's doing whatever it's doing it wonderfully, and even more so because we give it more energy. Remember, our cells have their own intelligence, every single cell. They made a study that they took in the early fetus stages. They took a cell from one part of the fetus to another, not the fetus, it's in the embryonic stage. Even just at the beginning, when the cells are breaking down and it turns into like a little bean almost, they took a cell from one part and moved it to another part. That cell moved right back where they took it from, which meant that cell already knew that instead of being part now of the leg, it needed to be part of the arm. So it moved back where it had to go. So it knows from the get-go where the cell needs to be and what its function is. So but our brain, our mind is stronger. We can overpower the intelligence of our cells. So we have to be very careful. Remember, where our higher self is higher than our physical. So we have the power to influence it for good or bad. And, my motto, I have happy faces pretty much everywhere. And I give my clients happy face stickers because we need to have that attitude. If you have stuck energy, we need to release it. Otherwise, it begins to fester inside of us on a physical level. By the time our body, yeah, by the
So,
time our body has the ailments, it's way past the stage of emotional.
so I've been listening patiently, well, to what you were saying. Of course, I was going to add meditation techniques and yoga, breathing techniques
Of
to
course.
release
Hmm.
stress. But I believe that hypnosis, and that's a conclusion we always end up having, that hypnosis will be helpful when everything else is not. Like, it's going to be, for some people, it's the last resource. Because I mean, I can't think of anyone that doesn't know that, deep breathing deeply is going to help them release tension. But sometimes it's not that easy for them. So you want to have this kind of help, of guidance, and that's when they come to you. So
Right,
describe us a typical session where someone will be able to access that layer,
right,
that deeper layer, so they can really connect to their body.
right. And I mean, and stress and anxiety and tension obviously is a big factor nowadays in our lives. But we don't just work here with releasing tension and so forth, because that you can release through meditation, as you said, yoga, running, exercises, and so forth. But for example, if I have a client, for example, that may come in and has a lot of tension and anxiety, worry, maybe has been heartbroken or hurt emotionally quite badly, what happens? For example, the person is relaxed, and I can tell the person, allow your hands to go to that part in your body where you feel anger most intensely, for example. The person is just relaxed with the eyes closed, and you will see that the hands go, maybe in the heart, and you rest there. And then I allow the person to breathe into the area and just visualize now the heart, because obviously we're talking about the heart. And what does your heart look like? If it could speak to you, what would it say? And the person begins to connect, visualize. The person might say, well, my heart, it's literally, I see it like locked in like fenced in, locked up and fenced in. And it's rather grayish, dark. It doesn't have a good color. Go, okay. Then we begin to work in different ways. And again, I adjust this depending on the client. If the client, um, just the personality of the client. So I might say, okay, visualize yourself with beautiful a laser, or imagine you're cradling your heart in your hands, and you're gonna rock it. Again, I also have a history on the client, so depending on what the case may be, cradle the heart, cradle your heart, and just tell it it's going to be okay. Tell it you love it. We often do then, affirmations of I love you, I forgive you. And obviously, the client can start crying, letting go of emotions that were held back. As we do these kind of works, oftentimes it's like, how does your heart look like? Well, now the uh, the fence, or the enclosure is opening up. It's looking a little more pink now. Okay, how can we let go of that fence? What is it afraid of? It's afraid not that it won't be protected. Well, and then we work with further affirmations. You're an adult. You know your voice is heard, and so forth. Um, Imagine that you're now allowing it not to be afraid anymore to open that cage. You know how to take care of it. You can, you know, just different ways of visualizing how this procedure goes until that protection opens and allows the heart to become free. And you can see the person oftentimes then, releasing with big long breaths, like wow, the heart, they begin to see the heart now in a beautiful red color, and it's like weight lifted off. I mean, there's so many ways the client expresses now how it's released all that emotion. It's really quite interesting.
So I was listening, and I remember that we also talked about procedures that happened, especially in weight loss, like the
Yes.
bariatric, the gastric band, and we remember that there's a lot going on with that, with the virtual procedure of
Yes.
putting in some kind of limitation to the intake looking to reduce the stomach size. So how does that work? Can people go to you and work on
Yes.
their
I
weight
mean,
loss?
for weight loss, again, we speak to our body because oftentimes, the weight is a protection. It protects you from different things, and from not wanting to enter into a relationship and avoiding a relationship that way. Protection, you need to be strong. If you're too thin, then you won't be strong enough to fend off and protect yourself. It can be many different things. But regardless of that, the way the virtual gastric bypass happens is that you actually do set up the person as if the person would go to a real surgery. And through suggestions, they see, the person goes into the surgery. Imagine that now you have anesthesia, and then, I mean, I'm speeding this up, obviously. And virtually or in the mind, while under hypnosis, the person puts on the gastric bypass, the gastric band, and now the stomach is reduced, and then you come back out, and it's literally taken through the procedure as if it would have been a real surgery. When the person comes out of hypnosis, he or she may actually feel a little discomfort as if it happened. And then it's like pretending that you just had that done. And so your stomach gets reduced and you're going to eat less. Per se, I don't quite do this like that. But we do speak our body. We talk to our body about wanting, what is your ideal weight? Visualize your ideal weight. Visualize your what is the foods that are appropriate for you to maintain then that ideal weight. Imagine a picture of you in your ideal weight. What did it feel like when you were at your ideal weight? What would it feel like um, to be in that? Because we are also have a blueprint of what our body is, who we are. And oftentimes people have been out of control with their weight so long that they don't have that blueprint in their mind anymore. So we need to bring back to that blueprint so the body can go back to that image. Um, we can then begin to see what is the good fuel. I use that a lot. What is good fuel for your body? I mean, you wouldn't carry around, five, 50, 60 extra gallons of gas in your trunk in case you run out of gas to fill up your gas tank. So that's like you eating extra for what? And that often resonates again on a hypnotic level. The body, understands, hey, you're right, I don't need all that. What for? And the mind then connects, and I make that a very big issue too in my sessions, where connect with your body. Give your body thanks for everything it has done for you. Thank it. And ask for forgiveness for having abused it. especially with the food. I'm sorry I've done this to you. From now on, I'm going to be better. I'm
I was
going
gonna
to love
say,
you.
and very oftentimes I have to, especially
We
at
all do,
night.
don't we?
Yes. So there are two kind of approaches. First, we were talking about being able to listen, being able to be in that level of connection, and with those, I don't know, they're not virtual, but you wanna be able to sense, to feel, to hear your body, whatever it wants to say. But then you want to work on that cooperation, like let's do this together. Like I was thinking on how hypnosis is so helpful with athletes, no, and how they
Yes.
can visualize during a session how they can perform better and better so they can achieve whatever they want. But we as regular human beings, we can even use this kind of programming, and actually some people do the neuro-linguistic programming. But what about doing it with a hypnosis? No, it must take you a long way to be able to say whatever it is, like before a surgery procedure, before something
Right.
like really important, or even like on a daily basis. Like I want to perform better. I want to be able to do so many things during the day. I don't want to be like dragging myself. So we can talk to the body to get it.
It's your body
Mhm.
responds. Your body responds. Maybe you have heard of Louise Hay. She was very well known. She was one of the pioneers in all this, and she had the famous book "Heal Your Body." And she was someone who had been abused as a child, had cancer. Um, I think it was in the uterus or somewhere. And they had told her it was very aggressive and she needed to have surgery. And she told the doctor, "Give me 3 months." And the doctor said, "You don't have 3 months." And of course, she went into eating healthier and so forth, but she did hypnosis and she realized that she had not let go of that trauma as a child of being abused, sexually abused. And she knew that if she didn't heal that part, they were going to keep cutting on Louise, cutting out the cancer until there was no Louise anymore. And she says that in her book. And that is so true. So she actually started working on that emotion, letting that go. And when she went back 3 months later to the doctor and they ran all the tests again, she had no cancer. So, and I mean, obviously, I'm in this and I do this, and I know of many people who have worked on this far. So, we need to understand, do we need doctors? Of course, we do. I mean, doctors need to heal our bones, help us heal our body as well. But there's so much to be said about our positive outlook and how we can help the uh, medical field. you know if I broke a foot and I had the cast taken off a week later and a month later I was dancing at a wedding when they told me 4 weeks later I was going to have to be having therapy and had the cast. I was supposed to have the cast on for the 4 weeks and they took it off after a week. And it's the first time I've ever broken a bone. So there you go. So, but I visualized my bone healing. I visualized, um, the little cells coming together and healing and all that. And I could feel tingling in the area when I would do that. And that's how I work with people. So if you know, if the doctor gives you, here doctors are not supposed to give you false hope, which I understand what that means, but I don't think we should give you false um, negative hope either. I think it's better to give you more insight into, hey, things could be better. There is a chance, but let's go with the positive. I think that would improve a lot as far as people's health and recovery you know I had an reminds me a case of an older lady who had heart problems, was overweight, and she had to have surgery done on her mouth to take the rest of the teeth out to have then an implant. And she was very worried with the anesthesia and then the bleeding and so forth because of the medication she was taking. And we worked with her. And this is, I remember, way at the beginning when I started doing hypnosis, so I wasn't so sure about what I was doing. But I had her visualize her body and speaking to her gums and her body that this was necessary for the good for later, for the benefit as a whole, and that she would visualize that she would bleed very little because it wasn't necessary to do all this bleeding and it was going to be okay. And we just did a lot of this positive thinking about the surgery, that the recovery was going to be easy, the swelling was going to be minor. And in her mind, I took her through the surgery where the anesthesia was going to be just perfect and no swelling, little bleeding, and she could hear the doctor saying how wonderful she was doing. And after the surgery, she called me and she goes, I cannot believe it. It went exactly how we visualized it, how we created it under hypnosis in the office. That even the doctor said the words, wow, I can't believe how little you were bleeding. I can't believe how little your swelling is and how quickly you're recuperating. It was exactly how we uh, wanted it to be. Now, because of her medical condition, this was not supposed to go like that because she had blood thinners and everything else, and it was exactly how we had visualized. So we can really, your body does hear everything we say, and we have to be careful with that.
The wonders of creation. But as you were saying that, I was also thinking, or this came to me that even for the process of transitioning, of leaving this world, we can work with our body. Like if the chances of recuperating are really, really small, then we can also do a work in regards to our, our, our farewell, to make it better, to make it sweet.
Well,
So that's, I mean, there's
yes,
something called the doula of death. The same way there's the doula for birth, there are doulas for
yes.
death. The bell, they call in
And
Spanish el bel morir, no, like the beautiful death, the beautiful dying. So even in that circumstance, which we're
yes.
gonna have to face, we can work with the body,
Yeah.
no?
And I often talk about animals because I think animals, their thinking is not like ours. We don't do this, animals don't do this analytical thinking. What does an animal do? Even my pets. I've seen it in my pets when the last days come for them, they kind of go away and hide, and I know it's the time to go. And what I do is even I do Reiki, but with Reiki, as we know, is energy healing. But I talk to them, I tell them goodbye. I thank them, and I may sit there. And I just had a cat a year ago, a little over a year ago, that passed away. And I literally sat with her on my lap and I did cry. I had had her for 17 years, and she was my cat, if you will. And I told her, it's okay, you can go. It's all right. Thank you for giving me this time with you and all that. And I let them be. And with humans, it's the same thing. When we resist, and Bernie Siegel, Dr. Bernie Siegel, a well-known oncologist, he writes about it, that often his clients late at night when he does his rounds, it's like they're asking for permission to die because the loved ones are sitting there going, oh, you're going to be fine, you're going to be okay, you'll see, just hang in there. And they're like, I want to go, I'm done, I'm ready to go, I don't want to be here anymore. But how can I go if my daughter, my son, my wife, my husband, whoever is sitting there telling me, you can't go, you have to get better? And the doctor speaks to them in a way, look, if you're ready and all that, that's okay. It's like he gives them permission. And by the time he says, well, I'm going to go get some dinner, I'll be back. And he comes back, they're gone with a smile on their face, if you will. You know, it's okay when
At
you're ready,
last,
you're ready.
they left me
Yes.
alone. Oh my God.
Exactly. And
Mm.
many die, and he says it. Often people die in the early morning because their loved ones finally leave the hospital to go take a shower, take a few hours of rest to come back in the morning. And in that time, it's like, okay, I'm going to take advantage now that they're not here. I don't make them go through the suffering. Think about how many people wait until a loved one arrives. You know, they're had to travel and they wait, and the person gets there, they say hello, they say their goodbyes, and then the person dies. Again, you're waiting because you need to say goodbye to someone. You want to have this last meeting with someone, and then you want to go. When you're ready, you can allow yourself to be ready to go, you know, and many people do that either one way or the other.
These are the topics that we love covering here at the IAAAM, because IAAAM it's all about energy. It's about alternative medicine, which would need, would have to be the mainstream medicine. But before that changes, we call it alternative. Just the connection between understanding these laws, understanding these dynamics of the human body, of the spiritual energy connected with the body. It's like in the rest of the disciplines, it's all separated, it's divided. And what we're talking here, it's like holistic, it's all about one, becoming one, spirit, body,
Yes.
mind. And so this information, I think, is very helpful, because we don't understand, we yet don't understand all the possibilities and resources that we have if we work with our body. Most of us are, for the longest time, I was disconnected from my own body, because the head is going somewhere else. It's always somewhere else, but connected to the body. So
Yes.
all these therapies, what they do is they bring us back to here, to be more in tune with our body. So lastly, Pilar, you were also talking about the verbal hygiene, like be able to also watch
yes.
what you say, watch what you think, and then listen to what you say, because the body is listening.
Exactly. It's not just, it's almost like a spell. When I see these Harry Potter movies and things like that, to me, it's so, they use these little spells where they say different words, but how powerful are our words? And I think the more we understand this, I am so careful when to say things. And Kike, you made me laugh because we were both running a little late before we started the show, and you said, you're gonna kill me, I'm running late. And I said, no. I was gonna be a little more direct on that and tell you I don't kill people. So, that is something that I catch on. I said, no, don't say ever those things. My children's friends.
I'm sorry, we are so used to,
Yes,
especially in
we
Spanish.
use, yeah.
Well, I guess
Or
everywhere we use the word, oh, don't kill me, of course.
yeah, or I'm
Yeah.
starving. I'm going to die if I don't eat something. And I would tell my kids' friends, don't say that. It's like you can say you're very hungry, but you're not gonna die because you're hungry. Or oh, this is gonna kill me. And those are the things that we're so used to hearing. And actually, in this book, she has a whole list of those sayings, and it's the most interesting and crazy thing. And we're so used to it. If I don't, um, a pain in the neck, breaks my heart, drives me crazy, rips me apart, makes my skin crawl. It is crazy. Oftentimes when we use hypnosis,
the more charge you put on, emotionally charged those
oh,
words are,
yes. I'm telling you, it's a
devastating.
spell.
It's devastating.
It's a spell. When people come with pains, oh, this pain, my disease, my illness, and I said, no, it's not yours. Let's call it a discomfort. Let's call it a discomfort. And I understand, don't misunderstand me. I know you are hurting, but let's begin to give it something else. It's not yours. You can let it go. You know, it's so incredible how we, again, think of it as a spell. If you tell someone, oh, I hate you, think about it. I hate you. It's spewing these words out. Imagine it being like a spell. I mean, that
Well,
has to hurt. And when you throw it out there, it's energy.
those are still lingering in the ether through generations. So
Yes.
we gotta be very careful
And
about
it's
it.
there. And then it comes back too. We have to be careful.
So I want
It's
to give
energy.
a big shout out to our friend Alicia Avellan, and she was saying on Instagram, when my grandmother passed, I was after my mom. I'm sorry, it was after my mom had asked her to wait for her, as my mom was here in the U.S. helping me with a surgery. So I guess grandma felt a little abandoned in a way, no? So yeah, I mean, these emotions are going to be ruling our lives even
Yes.
till the last moment, and we got to be very careful, because I always say, as we grow older, we have two big, I mean, like options. One is to become wise, no, and the other one is to become a kid again. So we got to be very careful, because most people I know, and sometimes I find myself being that way, like becoming a kid again, like not understanding, not using all these wisdom that we have been able to, gather. And the more we can, gather and stick, around this wisdom, the
Well,
more we can be a better person, even at the last minute when we're gonna need it more than any other moment.
yeah. Well, I tell people, it's easy to be good and behave and meditate if you're a monk somewhere up in a mountain. Okay, you have nothing to disturb you, nothing to derail you, nothing to, get you out and tempt you. But when you're in this world, I don't care how good you are, you're gonna have temptations. You're gonna get caught up in all these things. And those are the challenges we have to be faced. I mean, I sometimes, some people, cut me off or something, and I might say a bad word too, and to this person that just cut me off. Um, but then I take it back and said, okay, may God bless you, and may you understand what you just did, and may you not repeat it. I try to fix it. I mean, but I am human. It happens. It's just catch yourself and then rephrase it, undo it. Um, um, you know, uh, just the more you're aware of it, the more you can begin to clean up that uh, that verbal language. Just become aware. I give my clients an exercise for the next time we see each other. I tell them, write on your phone or on a piece of paper. I give them sometimes a little notebook. Catch yourself how you're thinking. What are you thinking? How are your thoughts? Oh, I'm so stupid. I did that again. Oh, I'm so stupid. Oh, I can never do this right. Well, write it down and then rephrase it. Write it down on the other page, across from it. How would you rephrase it? Well, it's okay. Next time you'll do better. You can do better. Oh, you're great. Oh, it was just a small thing. You can do this better. Oh, it'll be okay. Rephrase it in a positive way. And then next time, then you're going to rephrase it right after you say it wrongly. But after two or three times, you're going to stop calling yourself stupid. You're just going to go, it'll be okay. Rather than saying, I'm so stupid and I did this again. So it's a practice, and that's verbal hygiene, because I'm so stupid, I'm so stupid. You're going to be hurting your body eventually. It's going to come out somewhere.
Yeah, so we are enjoying ourselves so much by listening to you, Maria Pilar.
And we can go on
We can
over,
go on and on, definitely.
on
Well,
and on. Yes.
I think we hit a jackpot. There is so much to talk about, but we have to go. All I can say is that you have to go to Maria Pilar. I was blessed to be there, and definitely all the things that I could see, feel, understand during a session were just wonderful. So make sure you get that number that we've been posting here. It's 305-595-1699. So you can make an appointment and go see Maria-Pilar. She is in Miami, more specifically South Miami, and on US 1. And you can also visit the website, Beacon Hypnotherapy Institute, to learn more. So Maria-Pilar, I think we have to we have to do another one on this topic. Body is a manifestation. I say things happen in another realm first, and the last place to manifest is the body. But we gotta catch those things that are starting to, manifest before they go stronger. So, yeah,
yes,
a lot.
For sure.
A lot to watch,
yes,
all the time. It's called conscious.
All right.
So, Pilar, thank you. Thank you again so much.
Thank you. It
And
was a
make
pleasure.
sure Maria-Pilar is a member of the IAAAM, the International Association of Alternative and Ancient Medicine. We encourage you to visit as well. Thank you again, and see you very, very, very soon. Bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye, Kike.
Bye-bye.